Hey guys, you're listening to Two Peas in a Podcast with Shay and Dan, and today we've got quite a discussion on the cards. So, first up, we're going to be talking about manliness. What does it mean to be a man? And is there like a perception that men have to adhere to? What are your thoughts? So my kind of reasoning for this is, men always have this idea that you have to be very masculine, you can't like certain bands or do certain things. And I fall into the middle category, I think, because there's like masculine, sort of like, very alpha male. And then you have like very feminine men. And I'm like, yes. I'm on the borderline. I'm like, I like a lot of manly stuff, but I also like to explore other avenues. So, for example, I like a bath, candles, have a beer to man things up a little bit.
Oh, definitely a beer.
Definitely a beer. Sometimes a wine, depends on what's in the fridge. But, I sit there, I lie in the bath sometimes with the bubbles going around me, spa music playing. I'm there thinking, if any guy saw me right now, I would be judged. And that kind of frightens me. And I'm thinking it shouldn't have to frighten people. And I'm, where does it stem from? What do you do? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I don't think a bar falls into that category. I think that's not too bad. You're relaxing, you're taking some time out for yourself. But at the same time, I think it also depends on what else you're doing. I think there are certain things where it's like, what
do you mean? What else you
should be doing that? I mean, just if you're, certain things that you may not perceive as manly.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything right now, but
there was a time my wife and I can't remember if it was like an anniversary or something. We was in the bath together, trying to have like a romantic, bath time together. The candles were on. It's quite nice. It's not a long bath, so you're squeezing in a little bit. And she's got all these like products that I'm just like way over my head. Like face masks and scrubs and like some, like stuff for the bags under your eyes. I don't know if there's a word for it, but I'm like, what is all this magic? And she had this face mask. I think she had it as part of a gift as I don't know, Christmas or something from work. And she gave me the face mask and I was like, how does it work? What do I do? And it was like for her, she's like teaching a child what to do. It's just like, you put it on your face, Dan. You spread it around, leave it on for like, 10 minutes or something, and you rinse it off. And I was like, oh, okay. So I gave it a try. I'm sat there feeling like a muppet with this mask on my face. And you're afraid to talk because the moment you move your face, it all crinkles up and it's only like looks like a little pancake thing. It sort of sits on your face. And I'm sat there thinking, this is the girliest thing one of the most girliest things I've ever done.
But is it considered girly taking care of yourself? Because it's essentially what you're doing. You're taking care of your skin.
Yeah, but these are things that guys don't normally do.
Yeah, but it's also things that guys probably should be doing. And not just for themselves, but for their partner or future partner.
Would you have the whole bath, bubbles, candles, spa music, face mask?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
See, that's what I mean. It kind of depends on what things you're talking about. See, I don't really consider any of that less manly. Because you're taking care of yourself. Okay,
that's fair enough.
And females appreciate that sort of thing.
But there are things like chick flick movies,
I love a good chick flick.
I think this I do as well, and that's kind of this is what I mean. Like when I was in primary school, you're trying to find out who you are, and you don't want to be the kid that gets picked on. And at the time, there were the Spice Girls had just started their career, and I heard their music. Hang on, before we start jumping on this shit, actually, go on, go ahead.
Mate, I went to go see Spice World in theaters when I was a kid.
I've not even seen that, so...
It was great.
You take that one. But again, when I was at school, the Spice Girls had just come out. I'd heard them on TV or something, and I this is quite good. I like this. of course, because they're a girl band, you go to school and you, oh no, I don't like the Spice Girls. That's a girl band. I don't the girls like those. And then it gets to the point where everyone starts liking them and you go, actually kind of, yeah, I did like them the whole time.
Yeah, but I like them for obvious reasons. You know, people, I don't care what other people think. I think it depends on the individual, what certain things you like. I think that's a little bit different. I mean, it's different if you start dressing up like the Spice Girls.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
That's a different story. That's a different story. But if you're just going because you enjoy it, then
do you know Atomic Kitten?
Yes. Hooligan was the champ. I love that song.
Mate, I went to see him in a city near me.
Really?
Yeah, and after
apparently I've like recently looked up the lead singer's Instagram. She can still sing.
Yeah.
And she doesn't look much older than she did when she came out.
She's still gorgeous.
Yeah.
At the time, I remember saying to some of my friends, I'm going to see Atomic Kitten, and they ripped the piss out of me. Looking back on it, but this is what I mean. It's like, maybe it is down to individuality, but like at the time, this is pre-social media, because I think social media just really helps a lot of people come out of their shell and meet other like-minded people. Again, not girly as such, but just another thing that I would consider embarrassing. Classical music or particularly soundtracks for movies. I still love those, I love listening to those things. But at school, that was like nerdy. It was like people don't listen to that. Yeah. Star Wars was like nerdy and geek and no one, liked that. I love Star Wars. But of course, at the time you're trying to you're trying to get a girlfriend, trying to be cool, be the cool kid. And, you have to sort of live up to this sort of version of yourself that doesn't really exist. So I really struggled with that. I struggled with finding who I was until I suppose I went to college and I just changed and then started to not give a shit so much.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is like school stuff and it can kind of convert as you become an adult.
Yeah.
Like, how like work colleagues may judge you over certain things. But I think it just comes back to like you knowing yourself, being comfortable with you being the way that you are.
I even now I still struggle with being comfortable.
Yeah.
There's for example, the first thing I can think of right now is like when you're in the car blasting some music out. I'm going down the motorway. It's absolutely fine. You're driving quickly and stuff, and I can just have a nice sing song to myself and all that kind of stuff. But then in slow moving traffic, the music gets turned down a bit because sometimes the music I listen to. It could be from a musical, for example. And I'm like, I just feel uncomfortable. People know.
I know what you mean.
So it's never really gone away. It's just siphoned off into different areas, I think.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. Because I'll be listening. It might be like a real like slow song. I'm like, I'm going to turn this down a little bit while I'm at the light. As soon as we drive off, turn it back up.
Again. Exactly. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like, manliness. As men, we feel the need to always have this masculine approach to a lot of things. And I think deep down, every guy perhaps has their own feminine side, some more than others. And I think, with the advent of social media, everyone's sort of finding more about themselves or finding more people like themselves. I think people are being more open about who they are. And I think maybe the next generation of children, who are growing up, they won't have to feel like this, and they can be more independent and more individual as they, as children.
And the great thing about social media is that we're able to become influencers, and being true to ourselves, doing our own thing, we kind of separate ourselves from the rest of the crowd. But the difference between us and that crowd is that they're too scared to, be 100% themselves, putting themselves out there. So social media can help when it comes to that sort of thing, because there's like all different kinds of like influencers. Just using that as an example, but you could pretty much find every type of person out there. Yeah, and there's people that love them for being the way that they are,
and equally there are people who hate them as well. But that's just part of life.
Yeah.
Everyone,
it's just a part of life.
It's just life. I've got to say, actually, it's really helped me with confidence doing what I do on YouTube. I mean, you start talking to a camera and doing reaction videos and you think that's as far as it goes, but then you start, responding to people, meeting people, flying out to the Philippines and doing all the shit that we do. It's just like, okay, would Dan from 5 years ago stand on stage in front of celebrities and thousands of people
Probably
Is
not.
that an award? Probably
Because
not.
I know I wouldn't.
It's terrifying. It scares me still. But I remember we were looking back on the vlogs where they're like, oh my God, we got this opportunity and we're shitting ourselves. But we did it. And, I really enjoyed that evening. But
Yes.
I think social media and just having a platform and a community sort of surrounding me has helped me become more me. And I love that. I have moments where I still feel embarrassed about certain things, but I've posted an Instagram photo before, me in the bath, just enjoying a chilled evening, and I wouldn't have done that before because I don't
fine.
care.
And I'm sure your audience appreciates those posts.
Don't worry, my knob's all covered over.
But back to the whole manliness thing. See, even the things that you've listed that you're somewhat conscious about, I don't really see them as making you appear to be less manly.
That's nice of you to say. But,
Because,
like I said, chick flicks.
I don't see them. What's that?
Chick flicks. I love a good rom-com. One of my favourite films is Love Actually. I do love that movie.
Who's in that again?
Pretty much every British actor.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. I know the one.
Yeah. I love a good spa day. I love going to, I don't go often, but I do really enjoy it when I go. You have the whole massage thing going on and jacuzzi and classic.
See, I've never done that. I've never done that, but I wouldn't say no.
On that subject, and it's a nice little segue to another topic entirely, but I have to say, massages, if they're good, I can't help it. It's a little exciting. It's a little exciting.
I can imagine.
I went to America once to do some work. I was in San Francisco and then I went to Michigan. 2 different flights, obviously, and it's just quite a week-long trip basically to do all that. And because I had a bag full of lighting and cameras, and it's quite heavy going. So by the time I got to my last destination, I was like knackered, my back was aching, and I thought, I'll treat myself to a massage. So I booked a massage with a nearby, reputable company that had good reviews, and I thought, all right, let's give this a shot. And I don't know what possessed me. I can't believe I'm telling the story. I don't know what possessed me, but I just thought, okay, if it's going to be the massage, it has to be, all or nothing kind of thing. So normally they strip, you take your clothes off and you just keep your underwear on. But I took it all came off. I was just like stark bollock naked on this bed, and they started working on me. It's all nice, and my back was good, and my arms and my legs. It's the legs that get me, because they start like massaging your leg and sort of running and like the thumbs upwards, and you're down there. But you can feel like a little tingle down there, but you're not quite sure how much you've grown.
Yes.
So as they're running their hands, you're thinking, any moment now, it's going to make contact. And they get as far as like, you think they're like practically up your ass crack, but they're not. And it just feels so like, I would say sensual, but it's not, obviously not to them, it's just a fucking job, right? But for me, it feels like I'm being felt up. And I can't help it. I just get a little bit. So if you're a masseuse watching or listening to this podcast and we happen to run into each other in the Philippines or wherever, and
preferably.
Right. Yeah. And, you happen to give me a massage, I do apologize for my other part.
You know what? You can apologize. I'm not going to apologize. And I expect you to do your job.
Shay wants the happy ending.
I mean, it's part of the experience, isn't it?
Not in my experience, it's not. So recently, you had an oil change on your car.
Oh, God.
What? Tell me,
Yes, I did.
What did you feel needed an oil change? Is it?
The notification went off on the car.
Okay.
On the dash. So, yeah. So I actually, originally, I was like, let's do a quick search and see if we can do it ourselves. Looked on YouTube. Looked easy enough. So I got the oil, I got the oil catcher. I even got an oil filter. And then I tried to do it myself, and then I couldn't get the actual bolt underneath the car off. Even with the tools that I had.
One. Yeah.
That was problem number one. And then I just kept trying and trying, like, because I thought maybe if I just try a little bit harder, turn it, nothing was moving. So I was like, fuck it, we'll go get some more tools tomorrow. So I got some tools, and even with the tools, couldn't get it off. So I was like, well, fuck this. I ended up looking online, someone that could do it at the house, just because of working and all that. I don't want to go to see a mechanic and then wait hours on end just for them to do the car.
Mm.
So I had someone come over after work, actually finished work early, just so they can get it done. And the guy happened to be Filipino. They showed up to the house.
Wow, what are the odds of that?
I could tell straight away by his accent that he was Filipino.
So did he move over to Australia then, or was he just Filipino descent then and lives over here?
Yeah, he moved over to Perth. So he'd been in Perth a little bit less than I had been. I think he said 2013. Not entirely sure, but yeah, he'd been here a while. And we had a bit of a chit chat. And I asked him, would he ever go back to the Philippines? And he said no. He said he loves his life here. Actually, he lived in, I think he said Dubai, doing the same line of work. So he lived there for a few years as well. He hadn't been back to the Philippines, I think it was like 20 years or something.
Oh my God.
More than 20 years. Yeah, like over half his life.
So if he's only been in Perth for like...
I think he lived in Dubai. And I'm not sure if he moved back to Perth straight away, or if he went back to the Philippines and then came back. Because I'm pretty sure he's visited since the whole move. But he hasn't lived in the Philippines for over 20 years.
Ah, okay. What reasons did he give, if any, for not wanting to move back?
I'd say one of the main reasons is money.
That
and
makes sense.
I think he just loves what he does for a living, just being a mechanic. But
so you're there going, oh, have you heard of me?
I can't remember how it came about, but Mum was
there with your
also
two pieces of podcast mug going, oh, this whole thing.
Mum was also present, and I don't know, we're talking about Filipino songs. I think I asked him what his favorite Filipino song was, and he brought up the whole, I asked him who his favorite artist was, and it was Regine Velasquez, your queen. And I was like, yeah, I know Regine. He was so amazed that I knew what OPM music was, and that he brought up the whole Ogie, and he started talking about their life. Like, he knows a lot of details about their life, as most Filipino fans do. Mm-hmm. And I told him that I actually met Ogie that one time at ASAP.
Yeah.
And then he was just like flipping out. He's like, how did you meet him? When? Where? And then I think Mum dropped the whole YouTube thing about me vlogging, because he also brought up like people that he watches on YouTube, people that I should check out. And then Mum said, yeah, that's what he does. And he's like, you're a vlogger. And then all this information started spilling out. I gave him one of my cards. And then
Of course you did.
Yeah, and then he wanted to look it up there on the spot. So I showed him. We watched my Philippines season 5 trailer, and he's just amazed at like all these celebrities that he's seen. And then that just set him off. He started talking about girls in the Philippines, Filipinas.
Oh yes,
because he asked if I had a partner. I said no.
Happily single.
And then he started talking about how Filipinas are the perfect life partner. Like they'll do anything for you. They're the most loyal, good cooks, and they will take care of you, as in take care of this. And I was like, oh my God, because he wasn't discreet about it. No. He was just saying, like, he used all the terminology and everything. I'm just like, mate, my mum is right here. What are you doing to me?
God.
I feel so uncomfortable right now.
That's brilliant.
It was fine us talking about it, but once Mum came into the shed, I'm like, no, please fucking stop.
Jesus.
And I just sat there. I stopped talking. I just said, this man, just keep going. I just looked at Mum. I was like, oh, fuck. She's learning it all.
That's why Shay keeps going back.
I didn't want to say that. I was just trying to play it off. I was like, yeah. I was just like, yeah, he's not wrong. But yeah, that's where I just stopped talking. I'm like, mate, just let him get it out. Get it out brilliant. And fuck off.
Yeah.
Finish the car. Get the fuck out of here. But his name's Archie. He's my new go-to mechanic.
Oh,
so
nice.
When my car needs a service next time, I'll give him a text, and good to go.
And he's talking to his mates like, oh, this celebrity vlogger from Perth.
But he knows where I live. He knows where I live.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
That's partly why I didn't really want to say anything. I was just like, I like to be careful, especially.
It's weird, how like you know, the Philippines and everything we've done and do there. It's kind of like it is on the channel as well. It is like having two lives running parallel, and it's weird when it kind of blends a little bit, like it has in that situation, like when that world kind of bleeds over into yours, really.
Yeah, because I don't mind doing like certain vlogs with my friends, because if they're going to be my friend, they need to know this about me.
Yeah.
And them being my friend, they know if we're doing something fun, if you're at my house and I feel like vlogging while I'm half pissed, well, we're going to vlog and you're going to be in it. And that's just how it's going to be. But when it's like a stranger and they're basically at your house, you kind of want to keep the two separate. Even I'm going to have a new boss soon at work, so I'm going to try and keep it separate.
Yeah.
So I try and keep the two, but sometimes, it's hard. They cross over. Like I like to keep what I do online in the Philippines. Unless it's something that's like the Barrio Fiesta. That's okay because it's out in public.
Yeah. But it's also, even though it's on home turf, it's still, I find that strange still, because it's like, I'm in the Philippines, but I'm not. I'm enjoying the food, but I'm not in the Philippines. I'm seeing the people, but I'm not in the Philippines. It's strange, eh?
And when I'm vlogging, I feel like I'm in the Philippines.
Right, yeah. I had exactly the same experience
As soon as I get home, we're not in the Philippines. I'm editing this video. It's like I'm in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. It's weird.
It's great though, the fact that they can make it feel so homely for the Filipinos.
Yeah.
And, it's maybe we've been to the Philippines, we know, we've experienced it, but for many people who maybe haven't been, maybe who have partners who are Filipino who went to the barrio, they might just not realise how close to home, I suppose, it is for Filipino. Unless they've been, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And for us being at these sorts of events in our hometowns, we're more in tune with ourselves in the Philippines. Like,
it's like getting
that version of ourselves.
It's getting your Filipino fix without having to spend the money to go there.
Yes.
Isn't it? I mean, you're lucky because it's, Australia's case of coronavirus is quite small or quite low, I guess, in Perth. Our barrier this year has been cancelled. So, if it was on, I'd definitely go. So you're quite lucky you got to experience that. It's the first one as well in Perth, isn't it?
First one, and there's a local concert coming up with local Filipino singers.
Oh, nice.
So I think tickets only like $35. I think it's at a church though, but it doesn't look like a church. It looks like a proper a venue for just concerts. So I'm thinking of going.
Yeah, definitely.
Because a lot of the singers that were at Barrio will be performing there. So I think I'll ask Mr. Whippy, see if he wants to go.
Yeah. That'd be nice, actually.
Yeah, get some local talent. And because he knows one of the singers too.
That's true.
So
it'd be good if you actually get to sort of get more involved with some of these artists, because they'll have
connections. But I realise like none of them know who I am. Not that they should know who I am, but I don't think they don't know who I am, so they don't know what I do and what I could actually do for them.
Which I think can work to your advantage, because if it's a good talking point, and it's a good way to connect with people. And I think if they start seeing you around more often, like if they're performing at different venues, different dates, and they keep seeing you, you know, you're not just a random, you know, craze in the corner there. That you're a genuine person with a purpose, and I think that might help encourage them to do more with you.
The thing I've noticed about attending some of these things and being a part of the groups on Facebook, they stay very close to each other. So they kind of, I don't know if they let many like outsiders into the whole circle, because I notice it's just strictly Filipino at this point. I even reached out to one of the organizers who's been organizing all of these concerts, and they never got back to me. I don't want to keep reaching out to them either if they're not going to get back to me about certain things as well. Same for the artists that perform. I don't want to take their route again, although I may have to try and maneuver my way in there. But yeah, I think you're right. If I just show up, man.
I mean, the fact that you got Mr. Whippy who knows somebody, that's kind of like your way in, really.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I should need Mr. Whippy for a way in.
No, but it doesn't hurt to help anyway.
He just happened to work with one of the singers, so maybe we'll see.
Shall we talk about virginity?
Sure. Go right ahead.
Okay. Do you want me to just tell my story? Or did you want to?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
If you'd like to share with us, Dan, I'm not going to say no.
I'm an open book, mate. I'll, you know, I might be a quiet person to meet, but, you know, you ask me anything, I'll probably tell you the truth. So
that comes back to being Mr. Nice Guy.
Exactly. You got nothing nice to say, don't say it. So, virginity.
Yes.
What an interesting story that was. You imagine being in the moment, hands racing around the body, you know, romantic dinners. Yeah, I got none of that. In fact, the more I think about it, the more cringy my experience was. Because, like I've said in previous podcasts, you know, I've never been a popular kid at school, so getting a girlfriend was like a rarity for me.
I would have never guessed it.
Really? I can't tell if you're taking the piss or not. So I left school, got into college, and before I started college, I'd met up. It's funny actually. It's a bit of a backstory to this. Facebook had been a new thing that's come out, and I was looking at people that I used to go to primary school with because I hadn't seen for 5 or 6 years, and I got chatting to one girl who I used to go out with. Funny enough, the one girlfriend I had in primary school. And at the time, I was chatting to her on MSN, classic app there.
MSN. Oh, mate.
I know.
Those were the good old days.
They were the best days. If you weren't on MSN, you weren't my friend. Basically. So I got chatting with this girl again and just sort of like catching up. And at the time, one of her friends was round her house. So we exchanged details, and turns out we got a lot in common. And we both chatted about movies that we both loved, but neither of us had seen. So we thought, okay, we'll make a day of it. There's a bit
Wait,
of
say it again. Movies you both loved, but the other person hasn't seen.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, you're talking about a movie that you haven't seen, but you love.
Yeah, I know. So it's stuff that so we was like, okay, we need to make a day of this, and we can just show each other different films that we love and that. And there's a bit of flirting going on. Bit of an attraction, you get the sense of that, texting and stuff. So we met up this one day. Oh, I should probably say she had a boyfriend at the time as well, which is kind of funny. They didn't stay together for very long after that, I will add. Given the topic of this podcast, I suppose it makes sense that they wouldn't be together. Anyway, so we had this day together. I went back to her house, and we just literally film after film. We must have binged for about, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours or something, just watching movies.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. It's a lot of movies. I can't recite any of the films, to be honest.
Sounds like a lot of other things too.
I can't really remember what happened, other than because I think I must have been in her room or something. And we was lying on the bed, and sort of hold hands a bit, and then they start kissing a little bit, and things got a bit friendly. But that's not when the whole virginity thing got lost that day. So that's the backstory. That's how I met her. And we were sort of like, we weren't properly going out, we weren't a couple, but we were sort of like, I suppose, friends with benefits, but the benefits were quite minor at the time. And then, you know, she was a virgin, I was a virgin, we're going into college, meeting new people, or we were heading into college, I should say. We're like, you know, a few months off that. You wanted to ask a question?
Are you sure she was, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sometimes people just say that, you know.
Okay. Well, if she wasn't, then she wasn't, but as far as I was aware, she was. So, yeah, skip forward a few weeks, month, whatever. And we're thinking, you know, meeting new people in college, we don't want to be inexperienced. And at this point, up until that point, we'd done pretty much everything else other than the full hog. Like, so we thought we might as well just get out of our system, just get it done, and then, you know, kind of using each other, I suppose, in that respect, as like a bounce board of just ticking off the list. So we'd arranged a day to meet up, and at the time, we couldn't go back to her place for whatever reason. Like, we couldn't go back to my place for whatever reason, probably because parents or something, you know. I can't believe this. We'd arranged, mate. Just the whole premise of it just sounds cringeworthy. But, you know,
but it sounds good, mate. It sounds good.
My nan had offered to go back to her place. She would be out for the day, so we'd have her place to ourselves. And she was like, "You won't go through with it, because if you're meeting up just for that purpose, the moment's not right. It's just a bit, you know, it won't happen." So we went to my nan's, and thankfully she wasn't there. And me and this girl were just sort of watching TV, and we knew what we were there for, and it was just awkward. We were watching some shit on the TV that we would never watch and have no interest in, but you're just watching it kind of awkwardly, you know. And we were like, so let's get down to it then. And we, you know, it's just, oh my God, it was dog shit awful.
But what was so awful about it?
There was no, it wasn't romantic. It was at my nan's place. There was no foreplay. There was no working up to it. It was just kind of like, get your clothes off.
But did you feel good?
It was okay. I felt
like a man? Manly?
No, I sort of felt
used? Abused?
like it
unfulfilled?
like I knew it was going to be good. But yeah, it was just because, like I said, there was no foreplay or anything. It wasn't like, it's a bit too much information for you guys listening, I suppose. So apologies for what you're about to hear. But things weren't exactly lubed ready, you know. It was just a bit on the dry side, and things chafe a little bit. And we weren't using the bed, just in case you're wondering, because it was my nan's bed. It just felt weird. So you're on the floor, you're getting carpet burns, and you know, it's just a bit of an uncomfortable experience. There you go. That's what it was.
Unorthodox.
Yeah, that was the first time. And then to make it worse, the condom that we used split as well. So it just kind of made the whole experience just leave a bit of taste in your mouth, you know? It was all okay. And, you know, I think that's what made it more awkward. It was awkward beforehand. It was awkward during. It was definitely awkward afterwards. And after that, we had to kind of obviously take she took the morning after pill, and that was that. And I didn't see her again. Not because of, I hope it wasn't just because of that, but it just felt mutually right that we'd fulfilled our sides of the bargain. Yeah, and that was it.
Oh, God.
So that was my awkward first time.
You know what? I don't think it's that bad in comparison to, I guess, there's a lot of people out there probably had much worse experiences for the first time. I'm
quite keen, actually. If you're watching on this on YouTube, do leave us a comment in below. Just, I'm really curious as to, feel free to leave as much detail as you want. We won't judge. I mean, yes. I've just spilled my guts out on how I lost my virginity.
Yes, very willingly too.
I will have to say though, that was my first time. I have, you know, much better experiences. Even just the second time, that was
I would hope so.
Mate, my second time, that was another memorable experience.
Hey.
can't believe it. So my first time, I was a bit dog shit, as I've just touched upon. My second time was a whole adventure. So at the time, was I going out with her? Yeah, I was going out with her. Oh, so this is
Of course
college
you
now.
were.
So we were shooting. I did a media course, a filmmaking course at college. So there was me, my two friends, a guy and a girl, and we were shooting this short film for college. And we needed an actress to play one of the characters, and we'd run out of people in our group. So one of the girlfriend in the group, she knew somebody who different college, but who was sort of studying drama and stuff. So we all sort of got together. And I think it was like a horror film or something we were shooting. So we're in these woods in the local community, and it was meant to be like some sort of like Blair Witch kind of thing. So we took like a tent with us and everything, pitched the tent, started doing some filming and stuff. But the girl who was playing the actress, I really got the hots for, but so did my friend, and the flirting was quite intense, that night, and people cottoned on quite quickly, like me and this girl, the spark we had, and the guy got a bit pissed off with it all, and there's a bit of like bitching behind people's backs. So long story short, everyone left but me and this girl and this tent and this camera gear. No, we didn't shoot a porno, but we did use the tent.
But I bet you wanted to.
I dread to think what we'd have captured. We went inside the tent and we just took all our clothes off and had some fun. That was a much better experience. That was good fun. We were both ready for that one.
Usually is in a tent.
But it's so funny. My first time was like on the floor at my nan's, and then the second time was like in a tent in the woods. Like, where's the classic sort of bedroom scenario? It doesn't happen for a long while. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just got to take what you can get, especially at a young age.
I didn't have my own place. Who does at like 16, 17, 18, whatever it is? Just take it where you can.
That's great. And I know everyone's probably like, well, Shay, it's your turn now. But to be honest, I find it very difficult to think back to my first time. Very difficult, because I have no idea. But based on a lot of my previous experiences, I was definitely under the influence. And chances are I probably forgot who and where it happened.
So were you on the... how old are you then when that happened? If you can sort of best remember that.
I'll say 16, 17. Roughly about then.
Okay.
Because that's when I really started drinking. Like, it's always going out.
Just out of interest, what's the legal drinking age in Australia? Is it 21 or is it 18?
No, it's not. I actually don't know. It's definitely not 21.
You think about it.
I mean, this is back in New Zealand.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it's just normal. Like, I think I was like third, fourth form. So I was about, I think it was about 14, 15 when I started drinking.
Mate.
Just like actual drinking, like legitimately. Like, I would actually ask my parents, because it's better to be upfront about it. My parents were cool. They would rather give me the alcohol, so they knew exactly what I was drinking, rather than me getting it somewhere else.
Yes.
And because my parents would always have like beers left over, different alcoholic beverages left over from when they would go out every once in a while. So I'll just take a lot of I'd have like this cooler bag, and I'll be like, Dad, can I take this one? Yeah. Can I take this one? No, put that back. Can I take this one? Yeah. Just keep filling it up. And every time because a lot of my going out experiences kind of felt like clubbing in a way, because each high school had their own hall that they'll hire out every weekend. So you could go to one hall to the next. So if one hall gets closed down, it's the school's hall, we'll all just go to another school hall where everyone else is drinking and partying. So it's kind of, I felt like I've been clubbing for like the longest time. It's probably why I don't go out now, because I've
exhausted yourself a bit.
Exhausted myself with those days. But that's how I started like meeting people and that sort of thing, and like blackout drunk. And yeah, I think that was the first time I seen two females as well. It was outside, and I was kind of buzzing to see all my schoolmates. It was like one of my first parties as well. And I was like, oh, bro, what's up, man? Like, because I don't really talk to them. Some people I don't talk to at school, and I just seen them and we're like, well, pissed. And then I turned my head and there was these two girls kissing. And granted, I was very, like, we're all the same age, like 15, 16. And my mind was just blown. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, back then it was all new, wasn't it? You didn't really hear about
Yeah, and
that
it was one of my friends too from school, which was even more mind-blowing at the time. And we're just like, hey, we're just like, cheers to like all the boys. It was just like watching. It's fucking ridiculous now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, a lot of that experience happened in those days. So I couldn't even tell you the finer details. No idea. Like I was literally going out every weekend.
See, I came to that scene quite late. So because I was always in relationships, I sort of went from one to the other. There wasn't much time
because
I was single.
You're that type of guy.
I'm that kind of guy. But
yes.
I missed out a lot on the clubbing scene, and I came about it sort of in my early 20s, just going out with some friends, like locally. People used to go at that point into like main city centres, and it'd be like proper, like, you know, proper clubbing stuff. These like small bars with music, shall we say. So it's kind of a smaller club scene. And, you know, I used to really enjoy just having a laugh and just being with my friends and that kind of thing. But it didn't really last very long because people, apart from those sort of guys, were growing up and settling down anyway. And I was like, when I was single, I was at the point when they were in relationships, so they didn't go that often. So I kind of missed out on going out a lot with them. And then when I was in a relationship, they'd either be single or they'd be out in relationships. And people start drifting apart just naturally over time. So I kind of missed out on that. Even like the lads' holiday and, you know, the classic, you know, the picture you can see of people just getting sloshed in the street and, you know, some party place, you know, abroad. And I've never done that. I still haven't done that. You're the closest I get to it. In the Philippines, you and I just having a drink.
The thing is, for me, because I've lived that life so much, it's just one trigger for me. Like, give me a Red Horse beer and I'm good to go. Like, let's do it.
A bucket of Red Horse.
A bucket, yes, couple buckets.
Just get a bucket and a couple of buckets, bucket each, and
because that sort of lifestyle was like a huge part of my life at one point. Just constantly drinking, going out, because it's the only time I really got to see all my friends, because that's all a lot of us really did and look forward to in the weekend was drink. We'll meet up at someone's house, drink in the garage, play some drinking games.
So that sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while, it sounds. I mean, I'd love to still have that. I suppose the last night for me was the closest that got because
The thing is, you could, if you were to come over here, you would be able to do that. Exactly that. Have pre-drinks at the house. Get pissed at home, go to one of the clubs. We can go to the club where Chad bounces at. Straight in there, straight to the bar, get some beers.
Yeah, that sounds good, mate.
Good tunes, females everywhere, good vibes.
Yeah.
We could even vlog it.
Why not? In fact, some things are left unfilmed.
Yeah, well, sometimes you just keep it for yourself anyway. I've got a lot of videos that I've never shared. Because I'm just that fucking drunk. Some recent too.
Really?
Very recent. Obviously not this year, but...
I was going to say, how long are you dry for now?
Since New Year's. New Year's Day.
Wow. That's great, mate.
I do have some beers in the fridge. But I can't drink right now. Not at the moment.
I ran out of beers the other day.
I'm not surprised, mate. I'm not bloody surprised.
We had, right, because I haven't been drinking for ages, right? And it's when the sun comes out, because like I say, we're going into summer now. For those who are listening now, it's currently middle of June, just to give you an idea of when this podcast actually got recorded. The weather's been great this past couple of weeks, and to go from almost a non-stop downpour for most of May, then to go into June and suddenly the sun just comes out. The vibe, honestly, everything's vibrant. The barbecues are out, the beers are flowing. It's such a good feeling. So I bought a load of beer and I drank them all, and now it's cloudy and raining again. So I don't miss it so much now. But it's when it's nice and sunny, you go, God, yeah, I could do with a beer. Especially as I work from home, you know, can just lunchtime after, you know, when I'm at work and that during the week.
You're living the life, mate.
Sit in the garden with a beer. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, see, that's nice. Having a beer in the sun in your own home in the garden.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
I went out for the first time last night. I haven't been out for a meal for over a year. It's like pre-March.
Oh, so it wasn't an actual going out for a drink. It was a meal and a drink.
Meal and a drink, yeah, because the guy at work was leaving. He's been there for like 7.5 years. And he technically finished yesterday as well. So it was leaving to do that last night. And I was thinking, yeah, okay, it might be quite nice. And because, the vaccines I've had my first vaccine beginning of May. So I was like, I don't mind going out so much now because I've at least had my first shot. And we had this sort of restaurant booked, and it was so nice because you see a lot of people. We do a lot of our meetings online, and it's okay, it's fine, does its purpose, but you don't really get the social thing because when more than one person tries to talk on something like a video conferencing thing, everyone stops to listen because you can't talk over each other. It just doesn't work. So you lose that social aspect. But then you go out as a team. I think there's like 19 of us or something, just sat around these tables and having, food and drinks, and I had a cheeky pint as well. It was so nice just to kind of chat to people outside of work and not talk about work. I got to know more about people, and it was such a great evening. But yeah, it's my first time in ages, and I'm like, we're nearly at the end of this pandemic in the UK anyway. We're so close to the finish line. Second vaccines, I actually brought mine forward. Mine was supposed to be done the 17th of July, so I brought it forward to next Saturday, which is great. And most people are in their second vaccines now. I think under 25s can now. Well, basically every adult now is now offered the vaccine. So I think under 25s were left. So once that's all done, fingers crossed, we should be pretty much out of the woods and get back to normal. I'm just so looking forward to being able to just go somewhere and not have to worry about everybody else or myself.
One step closer.
Yeah. We got to the point where we was, up until last week, I think, when we'd go, this is how bad it was, we were going shopping, coming back home with our food, and then wiping shit down, like with these alcohol wipes, the bacterial wipes, because I had a friend who got COVID from shopping. Because people maybe cough in their hands and touch stuff, and it transfers and that. Something as stupid as that. So we used to wipe stuff down every time, and it used to take fucking ages. I'm not going to lie. Sorry for my French, guys, but it was so annoying to spend like an hour and a half or whatever it is shopping. You come back and you're unloading your car and you're unloading onto your floor and wiping stuff down and then packing it away. Your whole evenings just revolve around shopping, and I hated it. My wife's been fully vaccinated since April. And I was like, you know what?
Oh, wow.
The statistical chance of me getting COVID now is so low. I'm just fed up with it. I said, look, let's not wipe shit down and just try and get back to normal. So that's what we've started doing now.
That's good.
April, May, June. 15 months to get
to
a relatively normal mindset. Yeah. So last night was very much welcomed, and I've said to the guys, the more we can, maybe not so much the more we can do, but at least make it more frequent to go out as a team, just socialise and make most of it. It's weird having it taken away. You think you don't mind it so much, but it's not until you start getting back into it, you go, shit, yeah, how have I survived this whole year?
It's strange because I've had the option of, I've had a lot of freedom compared to other countries like yourself, but I've still kept myself, besides work and grocery shopping and just going out buying shit that I need, I haven't been out as much, even though I have the freedom to do it. Mm-hmm. Just because I'm aware there's still a pandemic, there's still something going around. So I don't know if I've taken that for granted now that I'm hearing your story. But at the same time, I don't want to be, just out there all the time. And I suppose a lot of
it's a smart move just to be vigilant still.
Yeah, and just because of the whole not drinking, and a lot of the time when I would go out would be alcohol involved,
Mm.
and just getting amongst and just mingling with people. But yeah, I think I'm actually slowly doing more of that now. Like getting back out there, just because I see things are kind of easing up as well.
Yeah.
Even though things aren't that bad here to begin with. But I know like a lot of like vaccinations have been rolling out. Like my mum was fully vaccinated now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it'll be only a matter of time before I get mine as well. So yeah, I think everyone's like heading towards that end goal.
The whole of the UK particularly, but I'm not sure about Europe, but the UK has just been on its knees with like industry, like travel industry is just on its knees. It's had government bailouts because all these planes and, no passengers, and they've got bills to pay, for like the hangars and airport costs, and God knows what goes into that. Hospitality, hotels on its knees, restaurants, venues like music venues or theaters, cinemas, everything's just been on its knees.
That's something I do miss is concerts, because although we're able to go out and do all these things, artists can't fly here to perform or do any of that. There's been so many concerts that I wanted to go to, but have been cancelled because they can't fly here. Because we end up going either into lockdown, or we're not accepting travellers outside of Australia, or if something's happening over on the other side, no one's allowed to fly into Perth.
Mm.
So yeah, that's one thing I'm definitely looking forward to.
I do want to touch on OnlyFans though.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
I don't know how we keep coming back to the subject, but it's you. I know it's you. It's definitely not me. So Dan, please share with us your story or your plan of events that are about to unfold.
Well, I was looking for another way of generating an income. You were trying TikTok, hashtagging it up and seeing how that was going to go.
I only tried it for 2 days. It was all right. But back to your OnlyFans.
It's hardly a trial period at 2 days. Oh, it doesn't work for me.
Oh, no, it wasn't even that. It's just I got busy.
Yeah. I know. But it'd be interesting to see how that develops, because I know the views on your videos have been quite good actually. So
surprisingly,
fast, yeah, really.
It's weird.
But so my logic was TikTok can be quite time consuming, which you've just proved it. You need to commit. You need to get all your videos and
for what I was doing anyway. I was trying to find stuff throughout my vlogs. See, I wanted to figure out content that I could actually make rather than just recycling content as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why I kind of stopped, because I'm like, fuck, what else can I offer where I can just record it on the spot? But you really have to think of stuff. You have to watch a lot of TikTok videos as well, which I don't have time to do.
Yeah, so it's quite it's a commitment, isn't it? It's like
I'm not fully committed to it, is what it is.
Yeah, and I kind of felt the same with OnlyFans, because I tried it for a week and I was like, okay, before I set out, what do I need to do? How am I going to do it? And sort of work it out. The thing with OnlyFans is you can announce it on YouTube and talk about it on YouTube. But just for those who don't know, OnlyFans is another platform where you can share photos and videos for a monetary or free. You can do it free as well. Gain basically, so people can subscribe to your channel and pay a set amount, like Patreon, to see content. But OnlyFans is renowned for people who are using it for selling nudes, saucy videos. Adult content, yeah.
The thing is, OnlyFans didn't start out that way.
No.
It never started out as adult content. It was just
I only knew about
content.
OnlyFans because of that.
Because of that, yeah, that's how it blew up.
Yeah.
Because all these, these thoughts came on the scene and took over the platform.
Yeah, but there's a lot of because of just from what I've read, the porn industry doesn't make a lot of money now because there's so much free porn out there, basically, and so a lot of
hallelujah.
So a lot of porn stars are using the platform as another way of generating money. So of course their profiles are booming. But it's also paved the way for a lot of people who want to get into the industry, or maybe not so much the porn industry, but the adult. So I don't know. It's just the more adult side of things like modeling and stuff as well. So it's just a way for them to make more content.
It's so common now, though. I feel like every 1 in 10 girls have an OnlyFans. Like, is people just want to make money.
It's hugely saturated. This is what I found out. So that aside, so I wanted, if I was going to do OnlyFans and produce adult content of myself, I wanted to make sure that it was going to be anonymous because I didn't want people seeing my face and linking it back to me.
But the downside to that is where you're going to get your audience from.
Exactly. So you start from scratch. So I couldn't rely on my YouTube subscribers to say, hey guys, look, I have an OnlyFans account. It'd be great if you could subscribe, check out my content.
I don't think it's possible to start from scratch like that. You have to build off of some sort of platform that you've already got, some sort of following.
Yes. Instagram and Snapchat, I believe, can disable or delete your account if you link back to OnlyFans, so you can't use those either. The only
That's
one
why most people use Linktree.
Okay. Twitter was the one that I found.
Twitter, you can post anything on there.
Twitter,
nothing is off limits on Twitter. You can post anything, literally anything.
This is where it gets too tricky. Right? So there's a few hashtags that I was recommended, which linked to specific OnlyFans profiles. I followed maybe 4 or 5 different OnlyFans profiles. Well, that's annoying. It's not even my phone. Should I just carry on?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Okay. So I followed like 4 or 5 different OnlyFans profiles, and as you can imagine, there are thousands of people who also follow these accounts. Those accounts, as in the OnlyFans accounts, they post probably every 5 minutes, something like that. It's really, really regular. And they say something like, post your OnlyFans account below, blah, blah, whatever. So you can imagine on every post they make, there's a thread of everyone trying to promote themselves. And obviously, the sooner you see their post hit, you're more likely to click on it because you're near the top. So as soon as OnlyFans post, you're there putting your responses in across multiple OnlyFans accounts, doing the same shit. So you can imagine already you've got I'm following 5 or 6 accounts, whatever it was. They're posting.
It's under a new account.
It's a new account.
I was going to say, that's probably the best way to do it, actually, now that you're mentioning it.
Yeah.
Upload certain photos of yourself to Twitter to promote yourself like that.
That's another story which I'll come back to.
Make sure it's not connected or get back to anyone on any other social platform that you have.
Yes.
If you want to do it anonymous.
It's already difficult to be a guy on OnlyFans. It's difficult to be a guy who's anonymous. And then when you go on these hashtags, bearing in mind this is 5 channels or whatever, it's five profiles that I'm following, the amount of people who plaster their things under every new comment that the OnlyFans account, or one of the, it's not like an official OnlyFans account, but like OnlyFans, I don't know, just profiles that have a lot of good following, it's just a minefield, and it's just people posting pictures of tits and minge and penises and arses, and just some people have these beautiful, glamorous, as you could expect, very nice pictures, and some people are just using a phone camera that's come off an old camera, grainy, dark, very unflattering, very varied in the kinds of bodies that you see. We're talking lumpy and bumpy and tall and short and every sort of body type on there. So you you just get lost. It's just mad. And after a week of it, I still had 0 followers. No one gets in touch. And by 0 followers, I mean on OnlyFans. I had about 6, 7 followers on Twitter itself, which is kind of cool. But it's just, I gave up. I was like, it's so relentless.
Wait, just wait 1 second. Did you ask yourself who your audience probably would appeal to the most? Your content. I know who you would want it to appeal to, but in reality, who your main audience should be, if this is your only motivation.
Are we talking Philippines? Are we talking? No, I was going to say doesn't make any sense. Because if it's meant to be like,
well, this is how I look at it. If I was you, and I was doing the same thing, I would want my target audience, preferably, to be females. Yes.
You're saying the gay industry is going to be earning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would probably be your best bet. And you'd probably have to. No, if you just want the money, then you have to target those people.
Reddit is good for those kinds of groups because there's a lot of communities based on the gay community on Reddit that for OnlyFans for this exact purpose.
At the same time, you also have to go back to your morals. Is that in line with your morals?
Look, as long as I'm not having a dick up my ass or I haven't got to show anything too weird, it's only a photo, right? A photo's a photo. It doesn't matter if a guy's enjoying it. That's great.
If that's good for you, then yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care. I have limits, but this is the thing. So,
see, that's where it kind of ends for me personally.
You're not actually having anything done to you.
I know, but it's just the idea that it's more what it's doing to me up here, knowing that I'm putting this out there for this person, for this. Like, it just doesn't align with me. It doesn't mean it's not right for someone else to do it. I'm just saying for me.
I can easily make that separation. For me, I'm just creating content. If someone wants to pay for it, it doesn't matter if it's...
Yeah. See, I find it very hard for me to separate myself from making content.
The trick is, though,
fucking content that I make.
Creating the content. So
yes.
I legit set up a whole photo shoot deliberately in a way that was arty, in a sense of very nice lighting, like it was all sort of black and white, moody, it's good lighting. I impressed myself. But I also had to make the background neutral enough that if someone looked in the background, they don't go, oh, it's done. They couldn't identify me by anything on. I even photoshopped out my tattoo. Is how much I was like literally covering up. But the photos that I took, I did a lot of shirtless ones, a lot with my jeans undone, sort of open but not revealing. So it's all kind of like saucy photos, which I wouldn't mind sharing with anybody. They're kind of like the kind of sexy ones, the public sexy ones. Yeah. They were the ones I was using on Twitter, but yeah, I got nothing back really. Oh no, I tell a lie. Oh my God, another story and a half. I even off on a bit of a tangent with this as well. So there was these people who seek you out, sugar daddies and sugar mamas.
Oh.
And I had some messages from this one guy. He was probably in his 50s, I think. And he was talking all sweet to me.
Wow.
And he was willing to pay, what was it now? Something like, I think it was like £1,000 or £1,500 a week as like a living for living. And then I think it was something like 3 or 4 grand in a lump sum at the end, or some. I can't quite remember what he's saying now.
To do what?
Well, I can't say for everyone, but for this guy in particular, I was thinking pictures, video. He'd want like 24/7 care kind of shit. But actually, he didn't want that. All he wanted was conversation, because he was a lonely old man. He just wanted company, and I was like,
"That's just sad, though. That's like even more sad when people want that, because they have to resort to these sorts of measures just to get conversation."
Yeah, but this is the very fine. This is where you got to be very careful, because it was through OnlyFans, and you can imagine the women on there, particularly, but thousands of people are posting photos and trying to get followers and all that kind of stuff. And people like him are scouring these threads looking for somebody to scam, because it got to the point where I had to send him he wouldn't do it through OnlyFans. He wouldn't pay through OnlyFans. So instantly you go, okay,
that's a red flag.
Yeah. But I thought, as long as he can't identify anything of mine, I'll see how far I can push it.
The thing is, when you're paying through the platform, you automatically get their details. You know exactly who they are because it's right through their bank and you get their full details. That's probably why he didn't want to do that as well.
Maybe.
Because that's the only way you can pay. Don't ask me how I know this. But you can't use PayPal. Can't use any of that shit. It's straight transfer.
He wanted me to send me my PayPal details so he could send me a direct wire to my account. And I was like, Googling, is there a way he can find out who I am through my PayPal account, basically? And I can't remember. This is going back a month or so ago now, so I can't quite remember. But what I did, I created a new email account, a new PayPal account, and linked the two together. And I don't think I linked a bank account at that point. So it's very much a case of I changed my name. I had an alias that I use as my name for this OnlyFans account. The thing is, you can transfer it into your PayPal, transfer that PayPal into your other PayPal to your bank. Exactly. Yes. That's what I was going to do. So I gave him my PayPal details and he sent me a screenshot of the money being set up. So it was like this amount to this account, pay now sort of thing. Or something like that. But before he could submit it, I had to buy like a G... What was it?
GPay?
Something like that, yeah. And I was like, what is that?
Why would you have to do that?
I Googled it, and it's like an iTunes voucher type thing, but it's like a Google account. It's like a Google voucher thing. And I was like,
why would you have to pay? Why would you have to pay when he's the one that's supposed to be paying?
Yeah. He was insisting that I buy that. And I was like, I'm not buying that.
For what?
Even if he did, even if it was genuine and he did send me like the $1,500, that £50 would be worth still spending. But I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
What was the reason for you buying that? Was it to give it to him or buying it for yourself? I don't understand.
I think it was to give to him. I think I had to buy the
scam.
I buy the voucher thingy, and then I had to give him the code for that.
That's a scam.
I know.
He's giving you what is he up to?
I felt so used.
Yeah, that's fucking what a dickhead.
Then interestingly, on another thread, another post of mine, a day or so later, some guy was again wanting the same sort of thing. Not in terms of that was through direct messaging, by the way, but in terms of the public chat, he was asking. He wanted to be my sugar daddy, blah blah blah. But the guy's name was a slight variant. It's like maybe a different capital here or something, but it's the same name, same person, same photo. Well, different photo, same guy, using a different account. I'm thinking, how many accounts does he have and how many people does he try and scam?
Yeah, because the whole, even his whole concept of trying to scam makes no sense. Why would you buy him something when he's the one wanting something from you? If he wanted the fucking whatever it is, he just buy it himself. Like, it's not even a clever scam.
If you think about all the people who are gullible or stupid enough to do that, that's like £50 per person and he hasn't got to do anything.
Yeah, well, you really have to filter out the idiots that would actually do something like that.
Well, yeah.
Which probably quite a few out there, especially on OnlyFans.
So many girls, particularly, who are putting themselves out there for whatever reason, money, fame, both, and they'll do anything to get followers, especially if they think they're going to get a sugar daddy who can look after them for like $2,000 or whatever it is a month, a week or something. It's mad. But then I started thinking, because of that happened, I was like, okay, well, how many sugar daddies or sugar mamas are there? I didn't know there was a sugar mama, to be honest. I was like, there's got to be something like that. I Googled it and I was like, okay, there was a term, sugar mama. So I searched the hashtags for it, and I've picked up a few women looking to supply or looking to pay for that kind of thing.
Oh wow!
So I chat to a few people, and it eventually went down the same route.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's a lot of scammers out there.
Well, see, now you're back to square one. You have to build up your your second audience from scratch, or you use your current audience to an extent.
Yeah, but
So anyway,
if you build up from scratch, it's so relentless. Like I say, just the 5 accounts that I follow on Twitter, it's just you're there on just the one channel, refreshing your page, and you're seeing a new post, a new tweet, and you're there with your details. Follow me, blah blah blah. Trying to entice them as to why they should follow you. Maybe upload a photo, and then you're just doing that for every time there's a new post across multi channels. It's just like, and to not get anything. It's demeaning. It's wasting my time. It's just
disheartening.
It's hard. It's really hard. And like you said earlier, so many people now, it's just so saturated.
And the thing is, it's easier for females because if you look a certain way, certain age, piece of piss.
Exactly. It's a lot easier.
They can use their current, like Instagram, all that. So it's a lot easier for them.
I followed this one girl who looked very easy on the eye, and she had this game, like a spin the wheel thing. It's all like pre-programmed stuff. So you pay a fee. I think it was like $5 or something. I thought just for a laugh, And on this wheel, it says things like, solo masturbation video, a blowjob video, naked pictures, several nudes, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, it's all computer generated. So that she presses the button, she'll record a screen so you can see her doing it. And then she presses the button, and the wheel goes round and around, and it lands on something. And I got a blowjob video, and I was thinking, how is this going to work then? So I think it was like I don't know. Later that same evening, the video came through, and I was like, oh God, here we go. I swear to God, it was the most horriblest thing I've ever seen.
What was wrong, Dan?
Well, all of her photos look so nice. She looks so pretty. And the video looked like a completely different person. I mean, it was the same person, but
Was the lighting off?
The lighting was off. It looked like it was
a bit grainy, the video.
You know how like some photos, it was all like nice and warm and lovely lighting and soft. It was all like harsh lighting. It was quite cold looking. It was grainy. She was not wearing any makeup, and she was spotty. Which, normal.
How long was the video? Surely at least
30 seconds or something.
30 seconds.
Something like that. Yeah, it wasn't particularly long. I don't think it was particularly long, but it was her boyfriend, I presume, who was the guy. So all you're seeing is like as if he was filming her looking down. So you're seeing that whole thing. But those particular porn stars who go like proper over the top with noise and like, it's so unattractive. I looked at it and I was like, fuck yeah, that's horrible. I'm not going to get my money back for it.
Sorry this happened to you, mate.
So yeah, my week of using OnlyFans, if I had to give advice, I'd say don't bother. Just get yourself a real job. It's
like
honestly,
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. What a waste of time that was. And I've got some nice photos out of it though. If I can find another way to repurpose the photos for my socials, I wouldn't mind sharing them, because they're quite not. I mean, apart from them not including my head, they're quite nice photos, I think.
I mean, I suppose if you were to, God forbid, end up on my side of life, the single side, you've got some new dating profile photos, Dan.
I'd put my head in everything there. I did take some full nudes.
Well, that can be for your more in-depth discussions with certain people on those applications.
Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, they never saw the light of day. The more saucier, kind of teasy, arty ones, they're around on the internet somewhere. But the nude ones, they have not. The lighting's good though. Okay, well, thank you for watching and listening to this podcast. I know we've gone into a lot of detail, probably more than you ever thought you'd want to get into. But it's been an interesting discussion. I've enjoyed it. Shay, thanks for spending your evening with me talking about all this kind of crap as well.
Always a pleasure. Always here if you need a shoulder to lean on.
Yeah. And just banter, good old banter. And thank you guys for listening. We've really enjoyed having you here. So if you want if you've got any ideas for some future subjects for the podcast, do let us know in the comments below. And we'll see you in the next one.